to start the race. We should be getting started any moment here, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens tonight. Keep in mind as well, this is a doubleheader event. We actually have 3 doubleheaders going on across the Speed Gaming Network tonight. We'll talk about those later on. But this is the first of 3 doubleheaders going on this evening. And that means that after this race, there will be a second race. Different seed, different race, obviously. But both races will take place this evening. We'll either have, and I think we only do 2 races regardless of the result in each round. Is that right, Wolfman?
That is correct. These are group stages where each runner has to face the other twice. For this first match, it's going to use Group Flags 1, or Group Flags A, if you prefer your letters. And the next one will be Group Flags 2, or Group Flags B, depending on if you prefer numbers or letters. The key difference, Group 1 is based off of the flags for the last tournament, as you can tell when we enter Pipeland. Pipes and stages are at their vanilla spots. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you there. I see, obviously, the pipes are going to go to different locations. As you see, that first pipe came out in the lower pipe that you normally would use to move on after the second stage. You actually came out next to the second stage. We have a boss pass already. So we have a very, very dangerous start.
Joys of entering an ice welcome.
Ice and Boss Bass, what a great start.
Well, we did talk about revenge, best served cold.
Yeah.
Here's a great way to do that.
Yeah, this is already cold. Very cold, to say the least. So it looks like, it looks like Classic Gamer got ahead just slightly there, but it's still early, anyone's race at this point.
Oh, nice one-frame trick by Claris in order to bypass the Piranha Plant. However, misses out on a potential item, and Classic Gamer, finds a pipe to get to the end, but it is blocked.
Ooh.
Will the fortress that Claris is in cover that?
Well, we may find out in just a moment here, or we will find out in just a moment here, as he gets his flower from there. And, for some reason, I never liked the fortresses with conveyor belts in them.
6F3, the carpet fort, as some people call this. Mm-hmm. One of the more annoying ones, especially with this room right here where Claris is in. Fortunately, the enemy set is kind, but it can be worse. Classic running into the roto-discs.
And also that room with the where the screen literally falls and you have to wait for the door. That's one room you literally cannot speedrun. You have no choice but to wait. So, kind of not really relaxing when you have ghosts in there that can chase you, or other enemies that can show up in there, like the Hotfoot. But he got through it, and moving on to more cold experience.
The beta experience. This is one of the 8 or so beta levels that was originally the data's in the game. It's just normally inaccessible. Correct. And in this case, I want to say this is 6.4 beta, which I sometimes call the floating iceberg.
So Classic Gamer does get through the fortress as Claris.com finishes the following stage. And I didn't even see which lock that opened, but it looks like it opened the one above the Piranha Plant. So, and that's a vanilla stage for the Piranha Plant, I believe.
Yes, the Piranha encounters are vanilla. It's programmed that way.
Ooh, Classic Gamer having another death there, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Rhythmatic Munchers, unfortunately, moved to the beat of their own drummer there.
Yeah, the Munchers in that stage actually do operate on, not based on how the game is running, but they just operate on their own rhythmic timer. So if you take a hit in the spot where that Muncher shows up, that Muncher is going to show up under you, basically, as you're frozen there in time. So it literally runs on its own cycle.
Also, if I've been paying attention to where these pipes are going, our runners have kind of a bad situation. They either have to go into that big middle island, or they have to go through 7-1, which in this case is 5-4, Sky Zone Welcome.
Yeah, they haven't really found a good way through yet. They found their way to the fortress, but the pipes aren't really being kind to them. So it looks like they found their way back to the start, and that they have to find their way through 7-1, like you said, which they could have done right from the start. But you're always going to look for exhaust the possible pipe roads first.
So the only way this path is going to be bad is if it takes us to that one stranded pipe in the right. Okay, we're good.
That's not the stranded pipe on the right. We're in good shape here. This is one of the hand stages, I believe.
That is correct. Hand stage 3, Cheap Chase.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the item in the hand stage today? A fire flower.
All of the hands.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, all hand stages will be fire flowers in this seed. Ooh.
I just noticed. I thought I caught this earlier, but I just noticed on Classic side it seems that blocks are just falling from the sky in that one stage there.
There are Goomba brick enemies, so that is a possibility.
Yeah.
Unless we were talking a different enemy.
Yeah, it just fell in the sky in the middle of the platforms. Those ones that sometimes stop and the ones that don't. Not sure what the proper name for those platforms are, but I just saw a falling brick and it just made me laugh a little bit there. So Classic Gamer going through the hand stage. Claris.com finished what would be, I think, 7-8, I believe that was.
That was actually another beta level.
Normally would have been 7-8, but yeah, what the level there was a beta, correct. Not getting the coin bonus there. Oh, that was 7-9, sorry. Gonna go to the fortress, and has to do this world alone.
We've had a taste of Skyworld in the 7-1 tile, now we actually have the Sky Fortress, or the Lava Fortress.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess you could say this world is both a hot and cold experience all in once here. It's a good mix of hot and cold.
I was not expecting to have to deal with freeze-flame Galaxy.
Exactly. At least there are no planets involved. Oh, what? Oh, goodness.
Classic, do not scare us, please.
I'm gonna assume that was swag. That is kind of scary.
Ooh, anchor. Do you remember what the anchor does?
I do. The airships holds the airship in place so it doesn't run away on you.
In the vanilla game, that is correct. However,
Right.
in the randomizer, the airship doesn't move at all. So, it gives you a random power-up instead.
Oh, nice. That was a change I was not familiar with. Oh, a one-hit Koopa. That's a good thing to run into there.
Ludwig von Koopa, the scientist of the group.
He actually got some fire shots in, so that might account on it too. I didn't quite catch it, but I only saw one bop there.
So the way that part works, there are two separate bars of health, effectively. The fire bar health and the bop bar. Once either bar drops to 0, that's it.
And here we are in what is Vanilla 1-6, sitting in the 5-1 spot. We're now in World 5 for our second world.
But it's not a friendly 1-6 if we're already seeing fire snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and fire chomps as well. That's kind of a precarious position. Claris makes it through. Will Classic do the same?
Got another one right at the end there, so it looks like it's the infinite spawning variety here. And we found one of the... Now notice that the fort stage, the rolling forts, I guess you can call them, the rolling tanks, Claris.com is in. It's not auto-scrolling. Most of the auto-scrollers in the game are turned off. There's only a couple of exceptions. One of them is a beta stage, that kind of a weird auto-scrolling pattern. And the other is the vanilla 5-9 stage, which has to auto-scroll, because otherwise the platforms could be spawned in a way that you cannot complete the stage. So those ones have to be left on, unfortunately. But notice that these tanks are not auto-scrolling at all. They're just going through at their own pace.
The army stage, as I sometimes call that, and with that, the army is defeated.
The army goes down, and he picks a box and gets a fire flower.
So, for those that are asking about how this tournament is different from the previous, this tournament will have multiple flag sets as we currently enter 5-6 Parabeetle Bypass. So the seeds and flag sets that our runners are currently on right now, it's the same as last year's tournament. The second match that is coming up after this one will have more map changes to cause a little bit more chaos. Oh, speaking of chaos, hello Note Block, hello Pit.
Yeah, Claris didn't have a good experience in that stage, unfortunately, and I was taking another look at the death here, and he didn't get enough height on the note block in order to get to the platform, it looks like, so he just didn't get enough forward momentum to make the jump. And this is his third, or no, it's the second try, I believe, at this stage, unless I missed a death on it.
I've only seen one death, and ew, Starman is not a good one to find.
And that death is also not a good one to find.
And so Claris is choosing to... Oh no! That's caught between a rock and a hard place!
Pick the worst of two evils here and just go with it.
Or just bypass it with a Lakitu Cloud.
Yeah, neither stage is a friendly stage, and now he needs to kill some time, but that means that... or get big back some time, rather, and that means Classic Gamer, he will have a cloud he can use later on a stage where Claris.com will have to complete that stage.
And with that, Classic Gamer is just about done with the tower climb, able to enter the second half of World 5.
Pipe entry there, but one is leaving, the other is just beginning.
And since none of our runners have a hammer to break the lock, a randomizer feature, by the way, we have to actually go through at least 3 stages in order to catch back up. One of which is this one, 7-2, the Invisible Bridge.
Yeah, this is one of those stages that that jump is designed not to be cleared unless you, for some reason, come into this stage with a P-Wing, which you can't really predict in Randomizer very easily. But that would be an exception. Ooh, we have the fire-spitting muncher there. That is an unpredictable enemy that I always hated when I was playing, I think it was Vanilla 6.8 or 7.8 or something like that as a kid.
I believe the Fire Nippers were part of 7-8, actually.
I think it was 7-8, yeah. I knew it was Stage 8. Oh, you can look at that. Claris.com actually did have the floating the tail, so he was able to float over without having to activate the pit. That's a time save time that he gets back on Classic Gamer, who did activate the note blocks.
So the reason that Claris had the tail is because he activated the anchor. One of the possible power-ups is that it is a hammer to break the lock, but that didn't happen here.
And I just noticed in the ending map of the stage now, Angry Sun showed up on Classic Gamer side, but it didn't come down from the sky, it just disappeared and gave him a coin.
And, oh gosh. We have a lot of bad levels today. This is 6-6. The underwater iceberg.
Yeah, this is a bad set of levels to start off with. When the easier levels show up later, it's going to be nice for the runners, especially if they're in World 8. But yeah, this is another stage I absolutely hate.
Filled with enemies, then you have to get through the pipes of woe.
Yeah, it's hard to speedrun this. There's that kind of going after items, getting some coins. I believe the items you get with the matches are random. You don't get what you actually see, you get a different item, correct?
That is correct. So we won't fully know until we actually check the inventory on Claris's side after he is done.
Which he does now, and we saw a frog suit in there.
Frog suit, Lakitu Cloud, and a Starman as Classic Gamer now enters the water door maze, otherwise known as Door 6 Fort. The reason why should be kind of obvious once you see it.
Yep. You can go all the way to the end and find a room that has a bunch of coins in it, but it doesn't really help you to do that. I don't think there's any power-ups in that room, so you're better off just going into Door 6 and finding your way to the end.
Ooh, and according to chat, there was a hammer in the end card game, so
I think I saw it too.
We have ways of farming for, well, lockpicks, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs rocks anymore?
There's taking the intentional hit from the plant there, and so he can stand under it, and making his way through, and he's in the final phase. Ooh, that was dangerous.
Yeah, that Koopa Troopa just bouncing over that mini water pool is kind of scary. Fortunately, the stage that Classic has just finished, the quicksand stage, is less scary without the angry sun.
Did have one of the flying munchers, fire trail munchers, though. That could have been scary. Not as scary in this environment, though, unlike the auto-scrollers that it usually appears in. And kills the Lakitu, and, well, that's not a threat anymore. There's another frog suit.
That was actually a French Vanilla 5.8 that Classic Gamer just finished. But we are now heading into
World 4 airship.
At least without the auto-scrolling. This one was kind of a doozer, if I may be frank.
Oh, this was a painfully slow stage without the auto scroll on. Now you can do it in 13 seconds and move on and fight a boss who needs at least 2 hits, 3 hits, and that's it. Vanilla 3 hits for that one. But yeah, I noticed that the coins in that airship actually don't rotate. They actually sit there stock still, and I found that really interesting that this stage is the one stage that seems to do that.
I don't know if airships have special properties like that, or if perhaps they are different sprites.
I think it's just that one airship, to be honest with you. Oh, Claris ended up getting a triple star, so that will give some lives, but that will lose a little time waiting for the extra lives to register.
Ooh, and as we enter World 2, we do have a hammer we could use, or at the very least, Claris could choose to use it. But in the meantime, Classic has to go through the Desert Oasis of 2-2 first.
And Classic also did omit the card game that he's actually saw way back at the pipe earlier. He never played the card game, so he won't be farming lockpicking tools today.
Well, he may choose to. The card comes with.
Card returns, and nope, still choosing not to.
Ooh, 4-4, possible skip gets it.
Doesn't manage to tail wag the Lakitu. It dekes him out a little bit there, and now it's throwing Spinies on top of him.
Alright, Claris is protected against Roy Koopa, not quaking this time. 2 other Koopa kids will have that ability.
So Classic Gamer is 2 stages ahead at this point. And, oh, this stage.
This is the Air Force. What used to be the fastest auto-scroller is now more of a precision platformer.
Yeah, it was a super fast auto-scrolling level, and this was, again, one of those levels that I hated playing when I was younger, but you know what? You get better.
Yep. And Claris is just going to, well, stop at the Toad House first, but then skip it.
Mushroom.
And we have a lot of World 2 levels in World 2. This is the pyramid.
Yeah, this is definitely the pyramid. This is one of those levels where you could easily get lost if you're a casual, like, I don't want to say casual, but if you're a first time playing the level, you may not know where to go. Once you know the path, it's just a normal speedrun stage at that point.
The tricky part is some of the enemies here are not randomized in order to allow for you to break the blocks. If you destroy them all, you have to leave the pyramid, come back in.
And that could cost you a lovely Tanuki suit like Claris.com has right now. And this is I think vanilla 6.2 on Classic Gamer side.
This is 6.2. That was on, I want to say,
at 2.3.
I think that was the quicksand panel, actually, but yeah, that was 6.2.
It is a quicksand panel, yeah, it is. So the quicksand has become a cold zone.
Well, deserts are known for being cold, surprisingly.
I would never have known.
Well, have another sample. We just did 6.2, how about 6.3?
Yeah, I gotta chill out for a while, right?
Are you turning into Mr. Freeze?
Nah, just Jack Frost.
Alright.
It's pretty cold outside here today. Cut me a break here.
Alright, a fair point. I can't get you too much there.
Last Gamer has a hammer.
That may come in handy, but ooh, Boomerang Bros want in on it as
that's dangerous.
Players take. Yeah, because the Hammer Bro isn't gonna move, and you are trapped in this stage until victory or game over.
Game over would be horrible. He got one of them, so can he get the other one now before it does any kind of... Oh, he jumped. He didn't got him. Okay, he got him. All for a note block.
And in the meantime, Claris just finished off the Muncher run, 7-7, and Pyramid today is 5-1.
I actually kind of like the way this stage was designed because of the, you go around the entire main stage, and if you can go in the middle if you want bonuses, but otherwise it's an up and down stage. I kind of like the design in some ways of that stage.
It is unique, plus you could get an item at the end of it, but that would require out-of-the-way flying.
Yeah, it would count as a finished stage, obviously, because you would get the item and you would be done, but, yeah, it would be out of the way, and you have to either shrink yourself to get in the gap, or just, try to fly in and then just wait for the game to force you out.
So, as our runners are going through Ludwig's airship, they will encounter Morton Koopa Jr. at the end, who, nope, no quaking here. And,
Three.
And it was asked in chat, what category is this? This is a Warpless Randomizer Tournament. You have to go through all 8 worlds and kick Bowser Koopa's butt at the end.
By the way, I want you to notice that Claris.com has almost completely caught up.
I have, in this case, combination of using the early hammer and Classic getting caught in the Hammer Bro trap. You know, that just, you know.
And we get our kingly advice, there's no crying in Mario. And the princess asked if we want an egg roll.
Shoutouts to Big John, I guess. Ooh, another hammer opportunity. Nice. I wish I could remember the nickname for this fortress. this is the second fortress of World 4. It has a bunch of donut blocks, but it also has a secret multi-room vault of sorts to get power-ups, but they take a lot of time to get through.
Yeah, I know of the power-up room that you're talking about. It's a very, very long room, so it's not a room that you normally want to go through if you're trying to speedrun, because you have to also avoid a few enemies in there too. So it's a bit of a technical alternative if you don't like the twisty path that the main route provides.
Ooh, Classic Gamer feeling like skipping the fortress. Enter 6-5 with an
angry sun.
We're just going to despawn it.
And goodbye, angry sun.
Oh boy, that is 4-6 or 4-5.
4-6, definitely 4-6.
Yeah, and this is a case where I would have considered taking advantage of the stage's gimmick. There are two places where you can enter the doors and change enemy sets. There you go.
And also, it was the blocks from World 2 pyramid areas there that showed up in the other side. So he's going to stick with the Koopas and move on. It looks like what he decided to do was to use the door to go in and then go back. And the reason he did that was to despawn the Boss Bass, because I guess the trigger is only at the start of the stage. And speaking of Boss Bass, it's also in 4-2 here today. So the trigger is at the start of the stage, and by going through the door, I believe it despawns it from reappearing, whereas if you kill it, normally it will reappear. It actually gets rid of it completely in that case.
That is correct. Ooh, Claris does not have a Lakitu Cloud. Going for the Hammer Bros, both for an item and for a hopefully favorable bridge spawn once the 3-6 tile is taken out.
And there is a canoe waiting there, but that canoe doesn't lead anywhere important. I think this is another beta stage.
1-5 beta, yes. The one where no power-ups whatsoever. Kinda tricky.
Yeah, it definitely is the 1-5 beta. I can see the snow there. And definitely doesn't look as pretty, so I guess this was definitely an unfinished stage. Well,
I never said that Bowser's interior decorators had enough time for every single level.
He needs better interior decorators. Like, he has to pay his minions well. Like, come on.
Well, apparently, he needs to pay his minions some extra health because World 5 Airship had a one-hit Wendy.
Ooh. And the king will have what he's having.
Alright, World 4, Giant Land. And Classic has some hammers, going to use them as, ooh, the first fort in the entire game.
It is. This is the World 1 castle area. And with a ghost at the end of it. Nice.
Classic was just attempting a clip there, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. So Claris.com is now a couple stages behind again. Looks like Classic Gamer did find a way through here quicker. And through this world quicker, as Claris.com is now entering the airship himself.
Alright, Classic has now entered 7-3, the grass run. At least it's a good run if you can get a start at the beginning. Wow, not every day now that I notice, yeah, the Karibo shoe and the Micro Goomba and the brick actually has the same jumping arc.
And he gets through it, and next stage, please. Well, after a turtle interlude. I think we just saw an angry user by Classic Gamer. Just gave him another Fire Flower, which he will gingerly lose. Whoa, what is with that mushroom over there?
Palette issues. Oh boy, Classic has entered a gauntlet, but fortunately no water this time. Now, Claris, if he keeps the hammer, or keeps the leaf, can choose to fly up to get an item. Lock's already broken, so it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, this is the vanilla 5-5 stage that Classic Gamers is now going through. So, ooh, with a fire snake in it.
And a frog suit for the reward. Haven't seen another water level yet. And, oh boy, we've went from a fort that chat wants me to talk about to a fort that no one wants to talk about, at least pleasantly. The Dark Door Maze.
I love to talk about this fort. This is the fort that will make you very, very sad.
Let's just go with that, yeah.
Yeah. But you can find a quick route to the end just like that and get in the door and you're out of there. Very nicely done there by Classic Gamer.
Alright, Claris is not in danger of being comboed by the Hammer Bros, and that was a 1-up mushroom.
It was.
In case you were curious.
And this looks like the World 6 airship, I believe.
That is correct. Lemmy's airship, if I recall correctly.
I believe you're correct.
And for those asking in chat, yes, there is a setting in the randomizer to take warp whistles out of the pool. And that's what we've done here. No warping allowed.
And we have a 1-hit. We have a 2-hit. We have a 3-hit. We have a 4-hit. 4 hits!
And based off of the enemy movement so far, I think I can confirm that Ludwig von Koopa, while a 1-hitter, was one of the quaking enemies, because I haven't seen any single enemy actually quake yet. And 2 of them, I believe, are guaranteed to.
We are kind of running out of worlds at this point.
Yeah, we just need world 6, 1, and 8 in some order, and in this case it's 1, 6, 8.
Well, we used our lockpicking tool, and we are already down to the 1-5 area of World 1, which is today is the Vanilla 4-1.
And, okay, thank you, chat. Wendy was our solo, Quaking Koopa Kid right now. However, Larry is going to be the other one.
Ursacom did need another, Oh, he found the star, but he may not get to the end quickly enough to be able to use that. Nope, not quick enough.
The issue here, Claris was, well, a little too big for that situation. If he was small Mario, could have gotten through.
Definitely.
Alright, 2 fortresses.
Nice double kill.
Agreed. And Classic just swag, coin chip, frog suit. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
So we've skipped 2 fortresses so far, and the next world, World 6, we have a potential to skip a 3rd, depending on how the pipes work.
Possibly all of them if you get a lockpicking, get a god pipe setup, I believe.
For World 6, I can't really say that it would be an actual god pipe, because at best you would be able to skip maybe a 3rd of the world.
I thought one took it closer, but because there is one after 2 airships there, so or 2 castles there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where the pipes end up in that level.
I know.
So there's. Go ahead.
I know what you're talking about, but there's a problem. That second one requires a bridge to be built. Hammers can't make bridges.
Okay, true. Somebody once told me, the world is gonna roll me.
I don't recall the king being a singer.
Me neither. So Claris.com is now a whole world behind because they actually just cleared 2 different airships there. So Claris has lost some time in his wanderings in the last couple worlds here.
And on Classic side, that is what I was referring to, as we have another beta level.
That is a beta.
I want to say this is 7.3 beta. The Lakitu kind of gives me that thought.
Maybe.
Alright, Cyclone, you talked about hoping for kinder levels. How much kinder can you get than 1-2?
That's pretty kind. You can try to get 1-1, that'd be even kinder.
And, as far as I can tell, this is our 4th or 5th beta level so far.
Ooh, another airship. Or coin ship, rather.
Well, fortunately, Boomerang Bros usually are in the coin ships, so it's relatively easy to deal with. And Claris is trying to catch up. In the meantime, we have the super tanks, or the reserves as I call them at times. Which means one more stage left that I know chat wants me to talk about.
And this is usually the final stage before Bowser's Castle as well, so this is usually the last volley trying to keep you away from the king.
But, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Claris.com has finished the airship as Classic Gamer finishes the so-called reserve.
Oh,
no!
That is the actual 6.9 beta, or maybe 7.4 beta.
Get the cloud out. There you go. He's gonna hope that he doesn't have any oh, this was a free stage. 1-4, without scroll.
And, with P-Wing, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be sure he didn't have to go back and do 1-4. That was the reason for it. He took a hit there from the randomly spawning Muncher's fire trail at the end.
It was worth it to skip that level.
It was. It was. For sure. Oh, Sumo Brothers. And he got his P-Wing back!
You lucky son of a gun.
Claire's now going through beta fun.
And Classic Gamer going through shoe fun. Hey, Karibo shoes there and there, but come on. Oh, come on, you can ride him! Come on!
That is so vanilla.
Ride him, not stomp him! We had the perfect opportunity.
He's in a hurry, Wolfman. Give him some slack here. Normally there's Spinies here, but we have Buzzy Beetles today. And Bob-Omb, which I think there's one of them anyway, normally.
There is, but...
There's your Spiny!
I wanted to see someone ride the shoe!
Maybe Claris will give you that chance.
Alright, next fortress. Is it going to be what everyone hopes it is? Nope, it is.
Oh, what a waste of a P-Wing! Oh my! What a waste of a P-Wing on the water fortress. Frog Suit would have been more useful here.
It's possible that Classic was preparing mentally for 7F2, aka Piranha Fort, but he's already passed.
Yeah, he's already seen it. And he gives up the P-Wing. He didn't need it anyway. Claire's going through the reserves.
And the bridge is finally formed as we enter 3-8.
But there's no boss pass, so it's a lot safer. The little fish is still there, though.
Yeah, was that Baby Bass?
No, that was just a regular Cheep Cheep.
I'll try to explain that a little bit better.
Okay.
Baby Bass basically has Boss Bass's AI, but is a Cheep Cheep.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I've seen the Baby Bass in other instances of the yellow, so I get what you're talking about now. It jumps up when it's near Mario.
Yeah, and oh no,
wow.
Claris is playing through Atlantis.
Oh boy. Is he out of clouds?
Maybe.
Remember what I said earlier when he used that cloud to get through one of the first stages in the game? That he would have to eventually play a stage that Classic Gamer was able to skip? This is that stage.
And 3 fortresses skipped so far. As we enter the final airship, Lemmy, go have a ball.
Well, that was a ballsy thing to do. 4 hit Lemmy, and we are off, I believe that was 7 worlds, so we should be off to World 8 now.
That we are. And at the very least, Claris is done with Atlantis. But this is going to be a tough one to catch up on, unless World 8 manages to trick Classic enough.
We shall find out. And we have arrived. So, there's your 1-1! Or is that 1-3? That's 1-3.
That's 1-3. We did have 1-5 on Claris's side, taking the alternate path to 1-4. Alright, Chad has been asking for Navy. The next stage, assuming we bypass the pipe, is that Navy tile, and it is Treasure Fort, or Fort Knox. Chat is desperate.
Would you like some coins today? No? Okay. Bye. You're gonna sit here for a while.
It's necessary to get this tail, though, in order to finish.
Pretty much. And now the long trip back down, and it's time to fly! Interesting how they just randomly put this room in here with no enemies in it.
This entire fortress is basically abandoned.
Yeah.
Also, Claris also doesn't like Karibo's shoe.
No one likes a good pair of shoes these days.
Okay, Classic. Oh! Wasted the anchor for bad luck, and it is Ice Fort.
Chat wants blood. He loses his tail, loses the super mushroom. Has to play it a lot more carefully now, so he's using some screeches on the ice to get that swamp out. And going for the ice room fight with the Boom Boom and gets it. Collects the orb and proceeds to see where more pipes go.
He has access to quite a few more in this dark portion. This is the most open part of the map. That's a waste. Now this pipe.
Got it!
There we go! Penultimate stage! Desert Fort! Oh, chat is going to be disappointed.
But chat should remember that this is a double header. There will be another seed, and we will have another chance at, let's just say, Carnage.
Now, Clara still has a whole world to go through, so it may very well be that he encounters it instead of Classic. But for now, Classic is ready to storm Bowser Koopa's castle.
And he's going to do it as a Tanuki.
None of our runners got hammer suits, have they?
No, I don't think I've seen a single one.
Oh!
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't see what was funny. Oh, come on, Boss Bass. You're in the motorway.
Oh, the ghost on the candle. That made me laugh.
Ah, okay. I didn't see that. I was focused more on Claris's side where he fell into a pit. But now Classic is going to attempt the hug strategy.
Oh, this is nothing. If you're small, you can just stay inside Bowser's feet, and he will, quote unquote, crush you, but get nowhere because he's too big and clumsy to know what he's doing. So one more jump, and we have a turtle who's going to plummet to his doom, or at least to the bottom of the floor, never to get up again. Ooh, I thought he didn't leave enough momentum to get over that gap for a second, but he made it. So provided he remembers to press up and enter a two-tile doorway, we should have our winner for this first race. And Classic Gamer finishes the first seed with an official SRL time of 46 minutes and 33 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. And what does the princess say today?
Princess always says the same thing.
Oh, it's always the same thing? Okay.
Yeah, and oh, I saw what Claris was trying to do. Get high enough to allow a mini false skip, but unfortunately missed it by pixels. Okay, Cyclone, I leave the call up to you. Are we going to have interviews at the end of Game 1, or are we just going to save it for the end of Game 2?
I don't know if there is a rule on that in the tournament side, but I know in other doubleheaders we usually have left interviews till after both games. So if the runners are okay with that, we can just let Claris finish and then just go straight into Game 2, as we do see Claris.com doing the transport through the white platform to show us what is in the normal whistle room. Normally this is the whistle. Today it's a fire flower.
Well, at least we do have a fire flower. And, oh, Claris is taking the first pipe. This is most likely going to take us to
A lock.
not the spot I was thinking, but, oh, Claris is going to encounter hand bridge. That's how one of the pipes has to end up. Yep.
And he says no hands, thank you. Look, Ma, no hands!
Yeah, the final pipe would have, by 8-1 and 8-2, would have been the other end of hand bridge.
And I think that it's safe to say that perhaps that stage that Chad has really been wanting might have been where the jet stage is located.
We have officially skipped 4 or 5 fortresses.
True.
So, it could have been in there.
It could have been. So, So let's see. We are still going to follow Claris.com finishing seed. It looks like he is going to go ahead and finish this particular run before we move on to the next of the 2 races in this doubleheader series. Just want to note that, again, there are other races that are going on across the network. So if you, obviously, feel free to keep us on as well. But if you do want to bring up another race to watch, we do have on Speed Gaming, one second here. On Speed Gaming 5, it looks like we have a Cobra 52 versus Demon Battler going on. That started about 3 minutes ago, assuming that it started on time. So that race will be going on Speed Gaming 5 right now if you want to watch that alongside this race. Or if you have a preference for which race you want to watch, go ahead and bring up that one. We won't judge you. Game 2 of this series is coming up next. It's like obviously listed as 8:30 because we allocate an hour and a half for each race, but when both runners are ready, we'll get the second race underway here. Also later on this evening, we do have Pro 007, one of the tourney administrators in this tournament, playing against Dr. J, PhD. That will be on Speed Gaming 3 later this evening. And both of those other games I mentioned are also double headers. They will have both games played this evening.
So the reason why Claris is finishing this race up is because you do have a better time or score average overall if you finish rather than just forfeit. That and the seeds are typically short enough as is.
Yeah, so we are going for times then. That's good to know. Trying to do the one-up block skip here. Gets across. Very simple skip. Taking the shortcut way to Bowser.
Now, hopefully Claris can keep his fire suit.
And hello, Turtle. And I think he's going to be fine from here. Just keep
I'm a little concerned.
Oh, he's got a lot of HP today.
Bowser's HP is not randomized to my knowledge. And no!
He lost fire suit.
Unducked a little quickly there. Claris has to do things the old-fashioned way.
At least now he can stand normally. Okay, Claris.com will now also be clocking in a finish momentarily here. And Claris.com finishes with a 51:56. So that is a difference of 5 minutes and 23 seconds between the 2 times here. Get your GGs in chat, and we will get the second race started in a moment here. Any thoughts on that seed before we break for the start of the second race?
This was a good showing of what the randomizer can do. But stay tuned, folks. Group Flags 2 is going to change a little bit more.
Actually, why don't you tell us about the flags? I don't even know if I'm familiar with those flags yet.
So, the key difference is all the tiles that you saw were basically put in different positions. So the first pipes in World 7, for instance, they could be on the 7-1 tile instead. Locks can be moved. Rocks cannot be moved yet, but maybe in the future.
Interesting. So that is what we do have to look forward to here coming up in the second race. And we are going to give the runners a little bit of a break here. I'm actually just fixing the time so you don't end up going off air in between races here. So once I fix that, we'll be changing it over to get ready for the next race. So with that said, we do have a second race coming up. Wolfman and I will be back with you in just a moment here to do that. So stay tuned for Game 2 between Claris.com and ClassicGamer88 here in the Super Mario Brothers Super Mario Brothers 3 Randomizer Tournament. We are in the group stage. Second game is coming up.